So we're rocking and rolling with my favorite games of all time. Next up, my favorite psychological game. It's Dead Space. I hate scary games. I really don't enjoy them. I don't like scary movies either. I like sleep too much, so anything that disrupts my sleep patterns with scares or frights, definitely on my no list. So it's kind of curious that Dead Space became one of my favorite games when it came out in 2008. Here's the basic premise. You're Isaac, a very serious and stoic systems engineer who's aboard this giant spacecraft with a lot of his former space mates who have been transformed into these things called necromorphs. It all goes downhill from there. One of the scariest moments for me by far was when this giant tentacle grabs your leg and you're trying to shoot it as it's pulling you along the floor. It's terrible. But there are also these moments where you're outside and you can't hear anything at all. The absence of sound is absolutely terrifying. If you've seen the movie Gravity, part of what makes the movie so tense is this juxtaposition between the destruction that's happening in the outside world and just hearing Sandra Bullock's breathing. The absence of sound really adds this layer and makes things really scary. Dead Space builds on top of this in a lot of different ways, one of which is diegetic interfaces. Diegetic is just a fancy way of saying in the world. So in filmmaking, for example, diegetic sound happens when you crush a Coke can. It makes a Coke can crushing noise. So in Dead Space, one of the things that they do is eliminate the separation between you as a player and the world of Isaac. You look along the spine of his back and you see his health meter. You look at the ammo counter on his gun or even the inventory that he has on his wrist. All of these elements create what's called immersion. I know we talk about this a lot, but it's really clever the way that they do it in Dead Space, and it makes things super scary. Also, the sound design for the game is really good. The stomp of Isaac's boot, he walks really slowly through the spaceship. Also, the shriek of the shuttle as it's pulling into the station. It all adds this layer of ambience. And then there's this final kicker that when you encounter the necromorphs, you don't shoot them in the chest, you have to shoot them in their arms. Dead Space is constantly frightening you and then demanding your composure. But the most important thing by far in terms of bringing everything together is something that most players probably don't know exists. It's called the Fear Engine. It's a piece of technology that was developed by the creator Visceral Games. Here's how it works. Every object in the world has what's called a fear value. It goes from 0 to 1. So 0 is like a butterfly. 1, holy crap. Isaac as well has his own fear value, which is also measured on a scale of 0 to 1. So that value controls everything that you see, feel, and hear in the world. So Isaac's breathing, when it starts to get scary, starts to heighten. The music gets more intense. The lighting will start to get more intense. You'll have enemies that spawn at you based on what that fear value is. It's spatial as well. So if there's a really big enemy that has a super high fear value and is on the other side of a wall, everything is going to start to build up to that particular moment. Alfred Hitchcock said it best. There is no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it. So that's my pick for most psychological game. It got really bad. I mean, I imagined necromorphs crawling on the ceiling when I was playing the game, or even when I was not playing the game. Like in real life, it crossed over. I could only play the game during the daytime. It was really scary. Anyway, what's your favorite psychological game? It doesn't have to be scary. Hash it out in the comments, and I'll see you next week.